Mic trigger.
Happy New Year and all of that. How is it all going for all the Beans World 77 fans? How are we all? As you probably can't tell, I'm in a slightly echoey room because I am on location. Or off location. No, I'm on location. So I've done... Basically, there's a video already out on the channel. There'll be 2 or 3 videos, I think. Depending on what I can basically find. And they're all sensory lamp videos. So I'm going to do a sensory lamp series on this channel just so you can go and watch it. It'll be a brand new playlist just called Sensory Lamp Series. And I might do sensory lamp compilation if I get, as of when I get new sensory lamp videos, but they're all just like little light show videos that I'm doing. So those are those videos.
6:46 p.m.
But I have also thought, like, I'm just thinking to do more podcasts than actual videos. All the other stuff that I'm doing and so on and so forth. And I'm moving, like I've got videos I'm like doing here, there and everywhere. What I've also planned is to not do a website. I will be doing a Patreon, and that is in speak. Because there will be a website. I know there isn't at the minute, because the Facebook page, I need to really pull my finger out my ass and do the Facebook page. And the Facebook page is like the bones of the website. It's literally the bones of the website. Because I'm not
6:48 p.m.
I'm not actually I don't feel as dedicated, if you know what I mean. I don't feel as dedicated to doing a website and to doing the Facebook, to doing a website at the moment if I'm not concentrating on the Facebook page. Now, I know Facebook's social media, but I need to stop thinking of the Beans World 77 page as a social media page. I need to see it as a web page. Well, to be frankly honest with you, Facebook is actually using business pages as, well, they're set up like mini websites now. So they look like mini websites. They don't have the feel, but they do have the look. And to be honest, I want to be able to pitch out to people what they truly want. Now, there is going to be more communal posts on this channel, which are very different to what the Facebook page is. Because the Facebook page is going to be talking about bits and pieces and stuff like that. Now, speaking of, Facebook, there will be a video where I do the history of Magic Silver Room and Cyberclans on this channel. I'm not going to do it on the Media Mogul channel. I'm going to do it on this channel because I've got a very different video for the Media Mogul channel. But I will do the history of the Media Mogul and Beans World 77 on Beans World 77 as a presentation. And when I get back home, I'm going to literally spend 2 months off, literally just doing what I need to do, because I've got 2 documentaries and stuff, and I'm just going to do community posts and shorts on this channel. And I have planned I have literally planned to home a career around what I do. So literally turn this channel into a career of some form of sorts. And that means get stuff out, whatever it may be, and just real you know, we've got events in the new year that aren't YouTube related. So yeah, and I'm planning, because my other channel, which is the Majo Demon, I'm going to try and set it up. It'll take a while. I'm going to set it up. If not, I will turn my other channel, which was the Ministry of Imaginary Friends, into a Majo Demon, and then a Majo Demon will be a Majo Demon 2 if I ever get it set up. It's just the way it is, and then the Ministry of Imaginary Friends will be a series on a Majo Demon. It's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do. Because I think a Majo Demon will be the live stream channel, or like the channel where I stick all the party streams on. But I don't know. I'm going to hold that off for the time being. For now, all the party streams will be on this channel, and also there'll be a party stream compilation, which I don't even know what the hell that's going to be, to be frankly honest with you. I've got stuff in the pipeline for, but yeah, we have the shit posting series, which is literally all stuff that I've conjured up from Facebook, early Magic Silver Room stuff, early Cyberclans, early Amino, creepypastas, goodness knows what. And I've literally just building a document full, and it's just what it says on the tin. Shit posting. It's a shit posting series. They are shit posts. And it'll be stuff like, one of the examples is, I shoved my dick into a USB port on my mobile phone and electrocuted myself. Now I'm 12 times harder. The other one is I shoved a Nokia battery into the microwave and now it's 100% full. Just shit like that. I remodded my PlayStation just so it would play PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, and PS6 modded. Yeah, stuff like that. Polybius 2 is out now, but you'll never see the prequel. All these is like, I've got loads, but they're all from different sources. In the first 10 episodes, I'm going to say where it is. And then after episode 10, once you've got it, I'm not going to say where the posts are coming from. I'm just going to assume you know. And some of the posts will be long, some of them won't. And I've also found stuff about stuff that I probably can't put in the series. So for that, I'll do elsewhere. Yeah. Now, yeah. So I've literally spoke a lot about the channel just going forward, because I think like the thing with this channel is, and here's the thing, I have noticed, I have seen Tech World's comments, right? I've seen his last few videos, and guess what? My channel There's people in the comments. Now, luckily, they get deleted because I look at them and then I go back to the video and luckily Tech World has his hand on things. So Ictio has a good hand on things, which is good. Because here's what I'm saying. Now, I don't know Ictio. I don't know. I just watch his channel and I love his channel for what he does. He's an inspiration. I do not, and I repeat now, for any bots or any assholes watching this channel, little tip for you. I do not copy Tech World. I get inspiration from him, but I don't own those ideas. Now, toys. Yes, I have done 2 toy phones before he's done them. Only 2. That's the blue ring phone and the Fisher-Price ring and record or whatever it's called. Or sing and record. I think it's called the sing and record. I called it the ring and record, but whatever it's called, the Fisher-Price one, VTech, what's the name, has done, the Leapfrog, sorry. Tech World, I did mine before Tech World did his. And I saw 2 comments saying, oh, Beans World's done that. And I'm thinking, yes, I have. Now, I don't reply to these comments that I see because those sort of turf wars on YouTube can get you banned. Well, they can get you banned, but they can also get you a strike on your channel. And I've already had I've had a community strike. Now, I still don't understand that whole community strike thing. I actually reposted the live stream. It went public and all that. But, like, here's the thing. I know why it got banned, because we can't talk about... I forgot, right, here's the thing. Because of the gambling commission, the Games Gambling Commission, they've put rules to YouTube now that we can't talk about certain things. Now, there are people on YouTube talking about dumped ROMs, right? Dumped ROMs. Now, apparently, there has been, quite recently, an issue with Roblox. Now, I'm not talking about the bullshit scandal, which is going to be in my BS posting series at some point, because you have to talk about Roblox. It has to be known. Now, the problem is, Roblox had a game. There's 2 things, but I want to talk about this because this is important, right? Roblox had loads and loads of gambling games, but this particular gambling game has been on Roblox for a while. Gets deleted, comes back, gets deleted, comes back, gets deleted, comes back, right? It's one of them. Now, the reason... Well, I don't know the reason why it got deleted and why it keeps coming back, but the reason why it went in the first place is because it was a fruit machine. Well, it was a slot machine simulator. And this is when there was a lot of subliminal, excuse me about this, and I am reading into this, by the way, because it is all quite interesting.
PM.
Because, for those of you who don't know, Roblox is a fucking, like, shit tip for fucking gambling pricks. Now, this game was not like a slot machine, but it was. it was a casino for kids, and there were 3 games on it. There was one called Catch the Cherries, and literally you had to use real money. This was all exchanged. Real money was being exchanged in exchange for the Roblox currency, but you had to buy more and more and more, and then when you went to buy more, you were already losing it, right? And then there was another game called Catch the Plums. Now, if you don't know anything about Fruit Machine history, there is already a game called Hold Your Plums, which is a Fruit Machine classic. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the shitty version where it's literally how many fruit you have, and then you have to buy more fruit. But if you buy more fruit, well, you buy more fruit, and then you have to do about 12 spins before you can even buy fruit. So you have to literally run out of all your precious Roblox credit before you can even get. Anyway, so they're the games, basically. Now, what happened when these games got deleted, there's a couple of people that were investigating. Now, one of the games in Roblox was using, and I repeat, was using code from a real slot machine. Now, of course, that's the speculation that's going around. Now, I don't believe that, because what I believe is I think there's a lot of gambling games that use, say, like dump drums or chip drums, whatever. But as I keep saying, I'm not interested in slot machines and fruit machines. I'm interested in arcade cabs. I'm not even interested in claw machines. I watch them. I think they're pretty cool. But yeah. You know, because you have you have fucked up cabinets all the time. People keep fucking up cabinets. That's just the truth. And then the Yuji Naka story, when I said that it had been lifted, I was completely wrong about that, because Yuji Naka he's been sued for something quite serious, and it's not even alleged, so, and I feel sorry for Yuji Naka, because the guy's had the Sonic licenses ripped from his hands, and apparently I was speaking to somebody who I'm not even going to name because he's helped me, done massive help, but basically Yuji Naka was a badass even in his day, because he tried to claim Sega, because when Sonic got released, he got a big hand from Sega, and it got to the point where Yuji Naka was like, okay, well, I'm putting my name on the Sega, which is why when the Sega Mega Drive 2 over here came out, and the Genesis 2 came out in America, but over here, people were calling the Sega the Sonic Machine. Nobody called it the Sega. And Sega nearly had instead of Sega, it was nearly Sonic. But apparently, and also Yuji Naka, when Gems came out, he literally tried to... Sorry, not when Gems came out. There was like a graphics chip that came out for the Sega graphics program, which they were using for the Sega, which got chucked out. And they tried to have that as well. They even tried to have their name on stuff like blast processing, which you can sort of hand that stuff to Sonic, you know, with the faster graphics and everything, but everything else you can't really hand to Sonic. Yeah. In a way, you can hand down, like, and here's the thing, and this is why, like, politics, I have literally not, I'm not talking about the politics in my Sega Lore video. I will be mentioning Sony and them screwing up, and I'll also be talking about, but when Sonic the Hedgehog came out, sorry, when Crash Bandicoot came out, there was another argument because Sonic the Hedgehog was going to go into Crash Bandicoot. And the guys at Sega said, well, this isn't good. And then the guys at Sony said, well, if you bring Sonic the Hedgehog over to PlayStation, and this was even in a PlayStation magazine. In a PlayStation magazine, there's a letter from PlayStation saying, Sega have, because I think, was it in Crash Bandicoot 2 or 3, I can't remember, one of the latest ones, they were going to bring Sonic in. And it was then Sega turned around. And it was their last, it was PlayStation's last, you know. And so when Sonic Heroes came out on PlayStation, they made it so nobody really cared. When they advertised it, they made it so no one really cared about it. Because when they had to okay it, because Sega literally closed their doors, but they hadn't. Sega never really closed their doors. When you read about Sega closing their doors and making everybody redundant, that's not exactly true. Yes, all the Sega hardware manufacturers, as they weren't making hardware anymore. But again, that's not strictly true either. And yeah, you've got like Sega copies and you've got bloody games and all the rest of it. But the truth is, there are people from Sega making hardware. Early Xbox consoles, that was Sega hardware. That was going to be the stuff that PlayStation were using. And it's funny because I am going to do PlayStation lore at some point. And Xbox were a proper rival in the beginning of PlayStation on the hardware market, because the DVD drives that Sega wanted to use and all the rest of it, Xbox were using, because because Sega got a deal with Microsoft. Again, this is all with the software and everything. And there was going to be another internet browser made for the Dreamcast 2, but unfortunately, PlayStation beat them to it. So, PlayStation wins the war on a lot of things, but Sega are very crafty when it comes down to software, sorry. And they may be slow on the uptake for getting the hardware out there, but the thing with Sega is they over push the hardware. Like, there are, like, you know, when you read about Amigas, and I'd love to do Amiga lore, but to be honest with you, I don't know a hell of a lot about Amiga to go into something that I don't really know, even though I love it. And the problem with Amiga is it's very late. But I will be when I do the CD-ROM When I do the CD-ROM lore video, I will be talking about Amiga, Commodore Amiga, because the Commodore Amiga was one of the like when you got to say the 500 and the 1200 and the A500, those machines, they weren't advanced, but people were like, okay, well, you've only got 3 colors. How can you make 3 colors to do more than 3? So it was more of an illusion, but they made that illusion work. And same with the sound. Well, we've only got 4 channels. How do we bounce those 4 channels to 1? You know, I mean, even those trackers that 16 channels, they're actually 4 channels, but they're all 16 channels bounced down to 8 channels of audio. It's always 8 channels of audio. The sound processors couldn't handle anything more until you got to the really high-end Amigas that could handle whatever it could handle. Still very limited, but the Amiga guys knew what to do, and they knew how to, work with limited things. And I'll be talking about the Amiga when I talk about PlayStation lore as well. So bear those 2 things in mind. But software is a big thing. But yeah. So when I was talking about dumped ROMs or stolen ROMs or hidden ROMs or and I've been talking to a lot of arcade clubs, and they're like, well, do you know what? You're talking about dump boards that weren't used. And they're not even licensed. Arcade games that are dumped don't even have a license. And that's why they're rare. Like Space Odyssey 2 is a hidden arcade cabinet in the wild. Like, Space Odyssey 2 isn't even called that. It's called something else. But it's just a chip. And so it is. They're all just circuit boards. All these lost games, they're all just circuit boards. And there's no gambling involved. Now, I spoke of 2 Sega programmers going to JPM to make fruit machines. I am going to have to talk about gambling, because Sega were very against it. And so when people left, now, their programming, they may have been against fruit machines, but they were going to make fruit machines. So because they weren't allowed to make fruit machines, doesn't mean to say they could use the same coding methods. Think of that one. All of their early coding mechanisms were the same coding mechanisms that fruit machine coders were using. So when when JPM got these two guys from Sega to do all their programming, they were the best programmers. And on purpose, they were the ones that left bugs in all the later JPM fruit machines. But I will mention it, but it's not on any form of political level. What is on a political level is the issues that Yuji Naka has. And all of the, there were some bad people around in Sega. There were some jerks that literally, they were the ones working on the Sonic games. And they all wanted. And that's why Nintendo decided, right, we're putting Super Mario, but Super Mario was like more than a mascot for Nintendo, and Sega tried to do that, but Sega went around it the wrong way. Now, Sega has a license to print money. That is the truth. Sega had a license to print money, and I'm surprised there isn't a Sega bank. So, and unfortunately, Sega had a sticky end because they didn't listen. They didn't listen to anybody
7:17 p.m.
towards the end. And did you know that Steve Jobs got hacked off with Sega? And I will be talking about this in Sega Law. I mean, Steve Jobs got hacked off with everybody, but he got more hacked off with Sega because they wanted to use the Apple Max hard disk in the Sega Dreamcast. So they wanted to put an Apple hard disk inside the Sega Dreamcast. And Steve Jobs turns around and goes, no way. And because you want to run Windows C off my hardware, no way.
One notification.
And so literally, this is when Apple were just becoming, they were just getting, Apple were just getting big. But, and Steve Jobs had just come back to Apple. So yeah, that with the Dreamcast, there is some PlayStation hardware there. There is. There are even some Dreamcasts lying around with the Sony logo on. And people saying, the Dreamcast is a knockoff PlayStation because it's got the Sony logo on. But they're very rare Dreamcasts now in the wild. And if anyone's got a hold of any one of those, I looked at one on eBay and they're over $1,000 just because they've got Sony, make sure you got plenty of money saved up for one of them. Because they're a lot of money. Anyway, and one thing I want to say, my imaginary friends, my YouTube and Tumblr is going to be the stage for the imaginary friends, and then the Facebook's going to promote them. But anyway, I'm finished here. I'm going to chill my beats.
One notification. Facebook, 2 minutes ago. Memory, 8. 7. PQRS. 8. TUV. 8. TUV. 8. TUV. 7. PQRS. Wrong passcode. 8.
Why is it
TUV.
not doing it?
1 notification.
Oh, that's why.
1 notification. Facebook. 2 minutes ago. Mem 8. 7. PQRS. 8. TUV. Mike trigger. Mike lock. Finish recording.